Have you noticed that your task manager is great at collecting stuff to do? But if you want it to show you a focused view of the things that you must do today, it's completely hopeless. Now, that's not necessarily the fault of your task manager. That's more likely your fault for being a little bit too optimistic about what you can get done today. However, it can also be very distracting seeing all those tasks scrolling down your screen, screaming at you, asking you, do me, do me, do me. When really that's probably not the most productive way, or certainly not the most focused way that you could attack your day. Well, in my quest to find a simpler, more focused way of attacking the day, I think I might have come up with something rather special that actually takes advantage of your digital task manager's ability to collect things and the pen and paper's ability to get your brain to focus. And today I'm going to show you how to set this very, very simple to-do list system up. Now, I must confess, what I'm going to show you is nothing revolutionary or new. Thousands of people, millions of people are using this system every single day. And I know that if you go through all the productivity blogs and books and everything, this system actually was made famous by a gentleman called Ivy Lee in 1918. So that's like 126 years ago today. But the premise still remains. This is a fantastic, simple system that anyone can use, and even if you're not using all the digital technology available for you today, it's actually probably the cheapest to-do list you will ever come across. So let me show you what it is. Now, before I reveal this to you, I must say in my show notes, it actually just says the reveal. Makes it sound like something's really exciting that's coming along. Well, maybe it's not that exciting, but it will transform your time management and productivity. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a humble pen and papered to-do list. And this is my list of things to do today. Now, when you look at that, do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel stressed out? Is it going to be difficult to pick which task to do? Probably not. But let me show you how this works. The first thing to do is when you're doing your daily planning. Now, this is the 5 or 10 minutes that you spend at the end of the day, or if you're an early bird, first thing in the morning, taking down the tasks that you must do today, or would at the very least push yourself to get done today, and take them from here. This is where your digital task list is, because remember, digital task managers are phenomenal at collecting stuff. Just looking through your list of all the tasks that you have and then transferring the number. Well, in my case here, I'm going with 8. I found that 8 is the best number. Now, I do admit that I have a 2 + 8 productivity system or prioritization system that you can use. And if these tasks are not too big, then you can do the 10 tasks that must be done today. I find 8 is a better number. It's more realistic, and it's one that I'm also going to get done most days. What you basically do is you take the 10 tasks or 8 tasks from there, the 8 most important tasks that you must do today, and you transfer them onto a single sheet of paper with today's date at the top. Now, there is something else that I would suggest that you do. One of the things that I suggest that you do is that you draw a line under the 2 most prioritized tasks. So you would draw a line over, in my case here, record YouTube videos and edit this week's blog post, which as you can see has already been done. After that, you can then list out the 6 or 8 other tasks that you would like to get done that day. Now remember, what's happening here is you are collecting all that stuff using your computer or your phone, and then just giving yourself 10 minutes either at the end of the day or first thing in morning to actually transfer the most important tasks, the tasks that you really want to get focused on tomorrow or today, onto a piece of paper. Now, once you've got it on your piece of paper, then you can actually use that piece of paper and have it all written down in front of you. It's a wonderful, simple system. Now, I must confess, there is something rather better, or certainly nicer, about running a line with a pen. And by the way, today I'm just using my Mont Blanc, I think it's a 144. It's the smaller Mont Blanc fountain pen. That's the pen. Just for those of you who have been following along with my pen and paper productivity systems, it's a Mont Blanc today. But anyway, going back to this, there is something about taking your pen and running a line through something that you've done. It adds a sense of completion. Now, when I do this on my computer, what I'm finding is that I'm typing away, I'm finishing off a blog post, or I'm finishing off writing some feedback or a proposal, and then I just open up my Todoist and then it's like, click. It doesn't feel like there is an end. It doesn't feel like, okay, that task is completed. But now what's happening is I am typing away and bang, 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 finished. That job's done. Okay. Picking up the pen and then just running a line through the task that I have just completed. Now what I'm seeing is I'm seeing a list that's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. So there's that sense of achievement as you're going through the day. A task manager doesn't give you that feel, which means that you're just feeling like, oh, it's another task done. And then you start losing interest, and then you start looking for another task manager or another app to help you, and it just becomes a vicious circle. I can assure you that these things are a lot cheaper than a task manager or notes app subscription. Pick up one of these for about $2 or $3, and they're going to run you, well, in this case, I think it's 90 pages. So that's going to run me for 6 months, 180 days. So I can turn the page over. It's going to run for me about 6 months, and it cost me $3. Now, you know, my Todoist subscription is costing me $3 or $4 a month. And so it's essentially Todoist is costing me twice as much as just being able to purchase a pad of paper and do the job. So when you think about it, this is a superb way of getting you focused on what really matters per day. Now, last year sometime, YouTuber Peter McKinnon, one of my favorite YouTubers, Peter McKinnon, he's a photographer and videographer. He did a video on his paper-based system, which is using what's called a pocket notebook. Now, I don't have any pocket notebooks with me, but essentially a pocket notebook is about half the size of this, and you can carry it around with you anywhere you go. Theoretically, you can carry it in your pocket. Now, that's a great system if you're moving around all day. Now, for me, when I'm at work, I'm not moving around. So an A5 spiral bound notebook does the trick beautifully. But for those of you who are moving around all day from meeting room to meeting room, or perhaps you're traveling around in a car or on bus or train, then perhaps you'll find that a pocket notebook is more preferable. It doesn't really matter, because this is just a simple list of no more than 10 things that you do each day. Now, Peter McKinnon has a great theory on this. What you can do is you can turn this into a competition with yourself, because the goal now is that you actually do all 10 tasks. That's a win. Once that's crossed off, you turn over the page, you start the next day. You do the same. What you're looking for is a chain of success. Now, Peter McKinnon mentioned that he's managed to do it for 30 straight days, which is quite impressive. I'm not suspecting that you will be that successful at this. I'm certainly not. There are certain things that I cannot get done in a particular day. But boy, am I giving it everything I've got to get it done, which is why it's a superb way of getting you focused on what are the important things that need to be done today. Okay, something rather important to mention at this point. You need to establish some little rules. Now, one of the rules is that you try and complete these all day. At the very least, you complete the top 2 tasks. However, there are other things that may be happening in the day that you need to add. Hence the reason why there is space at the bottom if you quickly want to scribble something down into your little to-do list. However, I would say throw anything new into the digital system and process that in the normal way. However, if you do find in the morning that something that you've added has now become less of a priority of something that you weren't aware of, then the rule is if you add something to this list, you must delete something from the list. It's no good just making this list longer and longer and longer and longer all day, because you may as well just stay with the digital system. This is about getting you focused. It's about saying these are the 8 or 10 tasks that I must complete today. As I say, if you decide at some point in the day that one of these tasks either cannot be done or you need to switch it out for something else, then that's what you do. If you add something, you must delete something. And that's really all it is. It's a very, very simple system. Keep this notebook on your desk all day. Make sure it's in front of you so that you can see what needs to happen next. And you are going to find yourself so much more focused, and you're going to be getting a hell of a lot of stuff done. Now, if you want to learn about the next part of this whole kind of hybrid digital analog productivity system that I've been developing throughout this year so far, then you can look at this video up here, which will tell you all about my all-important planning book.